Good morning, students. Today we will continue our study with the types of sets. So, seventh type of set, it is subset. What is subset? If we consider two sets A and B, then first set A is called the subset of second set B if every member, that is element of A, is also a member or an element of B. That is, all the elements of A lies in B, then we will say that the first set A is a subset of B. And mathematically, we will write it as A, this symbol, it is called the subset. A is subset of B, and it is read as A is subset of B, or A is contained in B. Got it? Now take one example. If A equal to 1, 3, 2, so the A contains 3 elements. Okay. Now take another set B which contains 1, 2, 3, 5. Now look all the elements of A. 1, it is also in B. 3, it is also in B. 2, it is also in B. So all the elements of A lying in B. So we will say that A is contained in B. Okay. And mathematically we will write A is subset of B. Got it? Now we'll take the second example. If A equal to A, E, I, that is also A contains 3 elements here. B equal to A, B, C, E, G, I. Now observe all the elements of A lying in B or not. A, it is also in B. E, it is also in B. I, it is also in B. Okay, so every element of A lying in B, that's why it is the subset of B. But remember one type of subset here. In both the examples, A is proper subset of B. So what is the meaning of proper subset of B? When second set contains at least one element other than elements of A, then subset will be proper subset. Look here, 1, 3, 2, but B contains one extra element 5 here. So A will be proper subset of B here. Now in second example, A, E and I. So except these elements, there are extra elements B, C, G. So B contains 3 extra elements other than elements of A. So A will be proper subset of B. Okay. So it is the symbol of proper subset. When we are writing the subset, this is the proper subset symbol. Now look, the third example. A equal to 1, 2, 3 and B equal to 1, 3, 5, 7. Now observe whether the elements of A lying in B or not. So 1, it is also in B. 2, it is not in B. 3, it is in B. So one element of A, it is not in B. So here we will write A is not subset of B. Not subset. If all the elements of A lying in B, then we will say that A is a subset of B. But here 2 is not in B. That's why we are writing A is not subset of B. It is a symbol of not subset. A not subset of B. Got it? Now, I have written here 2 notes. Empty set phi, that is void set or null set, is a subset of every set. Okay. So when we are writing the subsets of any set, first we will write phi. Every set is subset of itself. So in the first 2 example, we have taken proper subset. So what is the meaning of improper subset? When 2 equal sets are given, like A equal to B, then we will write A is subset of B. B is also a subset of A. Then they will be improper subset. So every set, remember this concept, every set is always improper subset of itself. Okay. When we are taking A is an improper subset of A. B is improper subset of B. C improper subset of C. Okay. Got it? Now we'll take next type, 8th, superset. It is related to the subset. So if A, that is one set, is subset of B, then second set B is called the superset of the first set, that is A. And we will reverse the symbol of subset. B, it is a reverse of symbol of subset, that is B is superset of A. It is read as superset of A. So B is superset of A. So here in the first example you can take here A is subset of B, but B is called the superset of A. Okay. Now next one, power set of a set. What is the meaning of this one? If A be any set, then set of its all possible subsets. So when we are collecting the possible subsets of A and we will make a set, then it is called the power set of A, and it is denoted by capital P, and inside the bracket we will write A, P of A. Okay, if we take the set B, then we will write P of B. Remember one note here, n of A equal to k, that is the cardinal number of A is k, that is A contains k elements, then the power set of A will contains 2 to the power k, 2 raised to k elements. Okay, so its cardinal number will be 2 raised to k. Now take one example. If A equal to 1 comma 2, then its power set. So by the definition of power set, that is the collection of all possible subsets of A. As we know from one note here I have written, empty set phi is a subset of every set. So we will start the power set with phi. Always we will write power set with phi. Phi is empty set and it is subset of every set. So phi is a subset of A. Now we will take the single elements of A. First we will write 1. And remember one concept here, we will not write 1 as it is. We will write inside the curly bracket because we are writing the subset, that is the set. Okay, and without curly bracket it will not be a set. So 1 we will write inside the curly bracket, 2 will also. Okay, now single element. Now we will make the pair of elements 1, 2. Only one pair is there, 1 comma 2, and it is the set A. So power set of any set always start with phi and ends with the set itself. Okay, so phi, 1, 2 and A. So there are 4 elements. So look the cardinal number of A. A contains 2 elements, that is its cardinal number will be 2. And the power set contains the 4 elements which can be written as 2 square. So this concept, n of A equal to k, then n of P of A equal to 2 to the power k. Got it? Now we'll take the second example. If A equal to A, B, C, that is it contains 3 elements, its cardinal number will be 3. Now we will write the power set of A. First we will write the empty set, then single element A, B, C. Now we will make the pair. So AB, AB, BC, BC. Now A can make the pair with C. So AC and all the 3 elements A, B, C, and which is set A. So power set starts with phi, ends with A. So it contains how many elements? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it contains 8 elements. So cardinal number of power set of A, it is 8, and 8 can be written as 2 to the power 3. So n of A equal to 3 and n of P of A, it is 2 to the power 3. Next, universal set. The greatest possible set which contains all the elements under consideration in a given problem is called universal set. The greatest possible, that is the set which contains all possible elements in the given problem, regarding the given problem, is called the universal set, and it is denoted by capital U. And please make the difference between the union, which we will take the further topic, okay, and the universal set. It is also called the parent set, because every set which we are taking in the problem always subset of universal set. Okay, so if we take here A equal to A, B, C, as you know A, B, C are the alphabet, so the set of all the English alphabets will be universal set for this set. Okay, if A equal to 1, 2, 3, then the set of all natural numbers or whole numbers or the integers or the positive integers or the rational numbers or the real numbers will be universal set. So anyone you can take here as a universal set. It means the choice or the selection of universal set is not unique. Universal set may be differ. So when we are taking any problem, it should be clear which set will be taken as universal set. Got it? Now we'll take very important topic, interval, which is also a type of set. Okay, special type of subsets of the set of real numbers. Remember this thing, when we are talking about interval, always we take the set of real number. Okay, so a special type of subsets of the set of real number is called an interval. As you know, between two real numbers there are infinite real numbers. Okay, so the part of real numbers, part of real line is called an interval. Interval always contains infinite or uncountable elements. Infinite number of elements it contains. Okay, so interval are of two types, finite interval and second one it is infinite interval. So first we'll take the finite interval. Now one question may arise here, sir, you are telling that an interval contains infinite elements, so how it will come finite interval? Finite interval decides by the range of interval, that is the endpoints of interval. When we are taking both the endpoints of interval as finite number, finite real number, then it is called the finite interval. And finite interval are of four types. First we are taking the open interval. Suppose we are taking two real numbers a and b. A, suppose it is 2 and b it is 3. So 2, 3 are two real numbers. Then if we collect all the real numbers which lying between 2 and 3, not 2, we are not including 2, we are not including 3. Only we are taking the real numbers lying between 2 and 3 like 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.7 up to 2.9. Then such type of set it is called open interval. And open interval always denoted by the small bracket, that is the parenthesis. So here we are writing open interval by using the parenthesis, small bracket a comma b. Here we will write 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 9, 5, 100. So this is open interval, and as a and b both are finite real number, so it is called the open interval. Open interval sometimes may be written as this square bracket, reverse square bracket we are writing here. Okay, so it is also the notation of open interval. Now we'll take the closed interval. If a and b are two distinct real numbers, then the closed interval means if we take x as a real number between a and b, but here we are including a and also including of b, then it is called the closed interval. And closed interval always denoted by the square bracket, big bracket, a, b. Okay, so here we have written a less than or equal to. Equal to means we are taking a also. X less than or equal to b, equal b, it means we are taking b also. Okay, but in open interval we are not writing equal sign. So we are taking in open interval as only the between elements of a and b. Okay, but here we are taking a and b also. So it is closed interval. Now third part of finite interval, it is open closed interval. So when we are writing first open, that is the parenthesis, small bracket, and then we will write the close bracket, it means we are not taking a but we are taking b in the interval, so it is called the open close interval. Look here, a less than x less than or equal to b. Here we are not including a but we are including b, so it is open close interval. Now next, close open interval. So we will write the first endpoint a including a, but b we will not include, so it is called the close open interval. A less than or equal to x, where we are taking a, all the between elements of a and b, but we are not including b, so it is called the close open interval. Now we will take the infinite interval. Infinite interval, when one or both endpoints, that is a and b, of interval are infinite, then it is called infinite interval. Look here, a comma infinite. So one endpoint it is infinite, so it will be infinite interval. Both ends are open. 2 comma infinite, it is also infinite interval. Here 2 is closed, from 2 side it is closed, so we will include the 2. But from infinite side it is always open. Minus infinite comma 2, here we will not include 2, but between the numbers minus infinite and 2 we will take all the real numbers, so it is infinite interval. Here also minus infinite comma 2, but in this interval we include the 2 also, because from 2 side it is closed. And minus infinite comma infinite, it is both ended infinite interval. and this interval is represent the real line, that is the x-axis. When we are making the x-axis, always we write minus infinite and infinite. So between minus and infinite, all real numbers we will take here as a set of real number. So set of real number is an infinite interval, that is minus infinite comma infinite. So I hope you will understand all these concepts, and on this basis you try to solve all the questions of exercise 1.3. Thank you.